Hey guys, we thought we'd get together today and talk about some of our favorite holsters, some of the things we've used over the years. One of my favorites going back a ways was Galco holsters. I had one of those years back. I don't know where it is, don't know what happened to it, but eventually, I know it wore out, and so it had to get replaced. And I was at a local gun shop years and years ago and found I think it's Bianchi is how it's said. They do a big shoot every year. I think I actually pronounce it wrong. If I listen to the experts, I don't care. It looks like Bianchi to me. Maybe it's Bianchi. I don't know. But this model 32 was for my Smith and Wesson that I used to carry until I swapped to a Sig. But this one here, I went through multiple of these, and they're pretty good. Here, I'll hold it up here. I loved them. The Bianchis were great. I'm a leather holster guy. I definitely prefer leather over Kydex, and I'm outside the waistband. That's how I prefer to carry. And in the summertime, I almost exclusively go to pocket carry when we start putting shorts on and not using an outer cover garment. So my strong side hip holsters used to be Bianchis. And the thing I found disappointing is especially if I did a lot of practice, I would lose the retention and it would start to fold in on itself. And that's dangerous. This one here, actually, I was teaching a CCW instructor course when my own son pointed out, "Hey Dad, it's time to replace that." So, like a good Boy Scout, which I never was a Boy Scout, but one is none, and two is one is what Joe always says in our classes. So what that means is I had a backup. So I just swapped it out and got the new one and continued with the course because he noticed that this was getting a little bit too pliable and soft, and he noticed it as I was demoing things in front of the class, and him being a good instructor spoke up, and I was really glad that he did. So anyway, years goes by, and I still have serviceable Bianchis upstairs in our holster bag that we use for training, and we do issue out in our training classes. But I found a better holster over the years. We brought in the J2 Defense, we brought some 1791 gun leather holsters in, and we try to bring them in as much as we can. We try to keep the common guns in stock, and they just don't stay in stock. Now this one here, this is one of the right there. Right. So look at that leather compared to this leather. See what I mean? Now, this one here is from my 320, and yes, it's a larger gun, but still, even the one that I have on my hip right now with my 365, it comes with this really thick leather, and it's molded to fit your body. Curvature-wise, it fits right around my body and tucks up really, really tight. Good belt's always a very good thing to have. You got to have a good belt. That's the foundation, and that's another video. But those are so 1791 gun leather. That's my go-to company nowadays for my preference. Now there are a lot of other type of holsters out there. Kydex. Some people swear by the Kydex holsters, and you're about to find out that Karla has a different opinion about what works for her. So.
All right, so for me, I am also strong side hip, but I prefer inside the waistband. My holster needs to stay flat to my body, but it also, being inside the waistband, needs to be easier to conceal. I don't feel like I wear clothes that would allow me to conceal from the outside of the waistband. So I like a combination of leather and Kydex. I prefer the Kydex mold. I have a couple of examples here. This one, the back shape is all leather and it's soft, but not flimsy. And then the front is all Kydex, and a nice solid clip that goes over your belt. Inside the waistband, this one can be worn wherever you want to, but I think the main position for a single one is for appendix carry, and that's where I comfortably use this one. I haven't worn it a lot, and I have allowed some students to train with it, but I have found it to be very comfortable. Then my everyday.
And you said you think you got this one from Raw Dog?
I think that was Raw Dog.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't have any labels on it. So.
Yeah, there's no writing on any of it except for what I put on it. And then
yeah, that it's helpful. Another good tip is to put the name of the gun. And if you're a trainer, you got to put your name on there too, so you make sure your lent out stuff comes home. But the holster that the gun is for, that way, if you got a big bag of holsters, which one is this for?
yeah, save you some time. So my go-to is crossbreed mini tuck. The mini tuck is leather back and Kydex front, just the same. But there's two clips that go around the belt on the outside. Now with this one, I wore this for 2.5 years. If you look from this side, you can see it's very well shaped and softened to my shape. A little twist in it right there for where I push it forward. My guns still fit in there. It still works fine. My clips on each side were getting a little loose. They had a little play to them, so I decided to replace the whole thing, but I could have just replaced those by themselves if I wanted to. They do sell them separately.
Crossbreed makes a nice holster. Is this thing here pushing out? Is that the muffin top?
Thanks.
I'm going to pay for that later.
Yes, you are. So with this one, when I felt like I was getting too much wear, I replaced it. But look at the difference from a brand new one to what I've been wearing. They come very, very rigid, very flat. And the minute you start wearing them, they do start to mold and soften. The leather is just such a nice leather, and they have 3 or 4 different combinations of leather you can buy. But the Kydex is form-fitted to your gun perfectly, locks right into place, and these are snug enough that I've worn dress slacks with just this over the belt line of the pants where there's no belt loops. And it stayed in place, it didn't go anywhere, and I was comfortable that my gun was supported and secure. These are my go-to. I really do like them, and they do break in fairly easily. So even though when they start out hard and rigid, a couple of wears, and you're good to go.
All right, cool. Crossbreed. They got an excellent reputation, and they've been around for a while too. There's a lot of different holsters out there, folks. Like I noticed in the shop, one of the most popular ones is the shapeshifter.
The Alien Gear.
Yeah, Alien Gear shapeshifter.
It has a version that looks somewhat like this, and the piece in the middle can be taken off and put in a different location to wear outside the waistband.
Yeah, so that
Really
shapeshifter
versatile.
one's got like 4 or 5 different kinds of carry mode, including one that you clip to like your dashboard in your vehicle, like in your truck, you mount it, and that way, you know, when I wear my gun in my truck, it's still on my side. That's where I keep it. I don't mount it or put it in the console or anything. It stays on my side. That way, if I'm in an accident, I know where it's at. I don't wonder where did the G-forces take it to. And
Yeah.
I got some big linebacker who's mad at me for hitting his Maserati. If need be, I still have it on my hip if I am able to get to it. And you got to practice that too, which is that's another video. But anyway, remember, 1 is none, 2 is 1. And thanks, Joe. That means that if something goes down when you're not expecting it, you've got another one ready to go. And if you're back ordered, same goes for your carry gun. I have 2 of my everyday carry guns just in case one needs to go into the shop. I pull the other one out and it's ready to go. So, and you know, we didn't talk about retention yet, but as far as retention is concerned, the gun should should be able to stay with enough retention in your holster for your lifestyle. And, you know, if you have a job that requires your holster to have a certain level of retention and stuff like that, it's got to meet that. So for us, we're basically a level 1. And if you don't know what level 1 is, I'll tell you in our next video, but it's a secret for now. It's not standardized, but there are some general understandings of what level 1, 2, 3, and beyond are. And don't have enough time for that today, but we'll get into that next time. Anything else? I think that about covers it.
I think so.
All right. Remember, safety first, safety last, safety always.
always.